CDL Practice Test, California, General Knowledge, Part 6. Question number 129. Can federal inspectors inspect your truck or bus? A. Yes, but they will not place it out of service. B. No. C. Yes, and they might place it out of service. The correct answer is here, C. Yes, and they might place it out of service. Explanation. Federal or state inspectors may inspect your vehicle. If they find a problem that makes the vehicle potentially unsafe, they will put the vehicle out of service until the problem is fixed. Question number 130. Which of these is especially true about your tires in hot weather? A. If a tire is too hot to touch, you should hose it down with water. B. You should bleed a small amount of air to keep tire pressure steady. C. You should check tire mounting and air pressure before driving. The correct answer is here, C. You should check tire mounting and air pressure before driving. Explanation. In hot weather, check the tire mounting and tire pressure carefully. Heat causes the air in the tire to expand, increasing tire pressure. Driving will make the tires even hotter. If the tire temperature and pressure rise too high, the tire may blow out or even catch fire. Question number 131. Wheel bearing seals should be checked for A. Gasoline. B. Color changes. C. Leaks. The correct answer is here, C. Leaks. Explanation. During step 5, walk around inspection of the 7-step inspection method, check the wheel bearing seals for any signs of cracks or leaks. Question number 132. Which of these statements about downshifting for a long downhill grade is true? A. The proper time to downshift is just after the vehicle starts down the hill. B. Downshifting should not be done with automatic transmissions. C. Downshifting allows engine compression and friction to help the brakes slow the vehicle. The correct answer is here, C. Downshifting allows engine compression and friction to help the brakes slow the vehicle. Explanation. When you're about to start down a long downgrade, release the gas pedal, shift into a low gear, and use engine braking to slow your vehicle. Don't try to downshift after your speed has already built up. You will not be able to shift into a lower gear then. You may not even be able to get back into any gear and all engine braking effect will be lost. If you try to downshift an automatic transmission after your speed has already built up, you may damage the transmission. Question number 133. Which of these statements about managing space to the sides is true? A. Always keep your vehicle to the right side of your lane. B. Strong winds make it easy to stay in your lane. C. You should avoid traveling next to others when possible. The correct answer is here, C. You should avoid traveling next to others when possible. Explanation. Whenever another vehicle is traveling right next to yours, there's always a chance that the vehicle might try to move into your lane and accidentally hit your vehicle. Also, the vehicle is blocking you from changing lanes. It's safer to find an open spot where there are no vehicles on either side of you. Of course, that may not be possible in heavy, congested traffic. Question number 134. How regularly should you check your cargo? A. After every break. B. After every 4 hours or 200 miles, and after every break. C. After every 2 hours of driving. D. After every 3 hours or 150 miles you drive and after every break. The correct answer is here, D. After every 3 hours or 150 miles you drive and after every break. Explanation. To maintain the safety of yourself and other drivers, you should check your cargo every 3 hours or 150 miles. Whichever is less, you should also check your cargo after every break you take. Question number 135. Which of these is correct regarding brake shoes? A. Brake shoes should not be worn dangerously thin. B. Brake shoes should have the same thickness as a penny. C. Brake shoes should be larger than a quarter on the steering axle. The correct answer is here, A. Brake shoes should not be worn dangerously thin. Explanation. When you check your brakes during your pre-trip inspection, check that the brake shoes are all present and none are broken or worn dangerously thin. Question number 136. The best way to stop all skids is to A. Counter steer and accelerate. B. Use stab or controlled braking. C. Restore traction to the tires. The correct answer is here, C. Restore traction to the tires. Explanation. If braking or steering force exceeds the tire's traction with the road surface, a skid may result. You can recover from the skid by restoring sufficient traction. Question number 137. Why do dry bulk tanks require special care? A. The load can shift. B. They have a high center of gravity. C. Both of the above answers are correct. The correct answer is here, C. Both of the above answers are correct. Explanation. It takes special skills to drive a tank truck. Dry bulk tanks have a high center of gravity and their loads can shift, making the vehicle more prone to rollovers. Use extreme caution on curves and when making sharp turns. Question number 138. Which of these is not a good rule to follow when caring for the injured at an accident scene? A. Move severely injured persons if there is a danger due to fire or passing traffic. B. If a qualified person is helping them, stay out of the way unless asked to assist. C. Allow injured persons to become chilled or overheated. The correct answer is here, C. Allow injured persons to become chilled or overheated. Explanation. If qualified medical personnel are at the accident scene, stay out of their way unless they ask for help. If they haven't arrived yet, try to keep injured persons warm, but not overheated, or cool, but not chilled. Don't move them unless there is a danger of fire or another accident from passing traffic. Question number 139. Some traffic emergencies may require you to leave the road. Which of these is a good thing to remember? A. Brake gently to avoid skidding. B. Use hard braking if you are moving at a speed greater than 20 mph. C. Most shoulders will not support a large vehicle. D. If you must leave the road, try to get all wheels off the pavement or at least one side of vehicle's tires off the road. The correct answer is here, D. If you must leave the road, try to get all wheels off the pavement or at least one side of vehicle's tires off the road. Explanation. In some emergencies, you may have to drive off the road. It may be less risky than facing a collision with another vehicle. Most shoulders are strong enough to support the weight of a large vehicle and, therefore, offer an available escape route. Question number 140. When you check the condition of visible parts during your pre-trip inspection, make sure that they are secured against snagging, rubbing, or wearing. A. Airlines and electrical wiring. B. Frame and cross members. C. Primary and secondary safety cab locks. The correct answer is here, A. Airlines and electrical wiring. Explanation. During your pre-trip inspection, check the airlines and electrical cables for any signs of wear, snagging, or rubbing. Question number 141. Your truck is in a traffic emergency and may collide with another vehicle if you do not take action. Which of these is a good rule to remember at such a time? A. To miss an obstacle, you can almost always turn more quickly than you can stop. B. Leaving the road is more risky than hitting another vehicle. C. Stopping is always the safest action in a traffic emergency. The correct answer is here, A. To miss an obstacle, you can almost always turn more quickly than you can stop. Explanation. CMVs can have long stopping distances. To avoid a collision or crash, it usually takes less time for you to steer around a hazard than to brake to a stop before reaching it. Question number 142. If the vehicle in front of you is smaller than yours, it can probably A. Make turns faster than you. B. Stop faster than you. C. Outrun you. The correct answer is here, B. Stop faster than you. Explanation. Large vehicles like CMVs tend to have longer braking distances than smaller vehicles. Always maintain an adequate following distance behind the vehicle in front of you. Otherwise, if it suddenly slows down, you may not have enough space to avoid rear-ending it. Question number 143. How can you avoid wet brake problems? A. Speed up or shift to a higher gear. B. Apply the brakes harder and faster. C. Slow down, shift to a low gear, and gently apply the brakes. The correct answer is here, C. Slow down, shift to a low gear, and gently apply the brakes. Explanation. If you must drive through water, slow down, shift into a low gear, and keep applying the brakes gently to prevent water, mud, or other contaminants from getting into the brakes. Question number 144. Which of these will cause you to lose your CDL for a minimum of 1 year for the first offense? A. Refusing to undergo blood alcohol testing when asked to do so. B. Driving a commercial motor vehicle, CMV, when your blood alcohol content, BAC, is 0.04% or higher. C. All of the answers. D. Committing a felony that involves your use of a CMV. The correct answers here. C. All of the answers. Explanation. There are many reasons why you might lose your CDL for a year in California, including alcohol, crimes, and serious traffic violations such as hit and run. Question number 145. What emergency equipment should you ensure to have with you in your cab? A. Cell phone. B. Batteries and a flashlight. C. Extra blankets and water. D. Triangles and a fire extinguisher. The correct answers here. D. Triangles and a fire extinguisher. Explanation. While the other options may come in handy, the safety equipment that is required to be in every vehicle are a rated fire extinguisher and reflective triangles. Question number 146. Cargo that can shift should have at least tie down. S. A. 1. B. 2. C. 3. The correct answers here. B. 2. Explanation. The rule is 1 tie down for every 10 feet of cargo, but at least 2 tie downs regardless of how small the cargo is. Question number 147. Which of these is true about hours of service? A. You must take a break after every 2 hours of driving. B. After 1,000 hours of service, you will be exempt from certain regulations. C. You should balance your hours of service with enough sleep to keep you alert. The correct answers here. C. You should balance your hours of service with enough sleep to keep you alert. Explanation. Sleep debt is a dangerous condition in which missing sleep adds up until you risk falling asleep at the wheel unless you get some rest. People are often surprised that getting less than 6 hours of sleep per night triples the risk of an accident. At least 15% of heavy truck crashes are believed to involve driver fatigue. Before each trip, you should get adequate sleep. Adults need 8 to 9 hours to maintain alertness. Question number 148. An anti-lock braking system, ABS, will A. Increase a vehicle's stopping power. B. Let you drive faster. C. Not change the way you brake normally. D. Shorten your stopping distance. The correct answers here. C. Not change the way you brake normally. Explanation. ABS only kicks in to prevent the wheels from locking up when you brake hard. ABS does not change the way you normally brake. It doesn't eliminate the need for careful braking, defensive driving, good brakes, and good maintenance. Question number 149. A top-heavy load is dangerous because it can cause A. A rollover if you swerve around a hazard. B. All of the above. C. A rollover on a curve. D. Damage to the axles or steering. The correct answers here. B. All of the above. Explanation. A top-heavy load raises your vehicle's center of gravity so that you're much more likely to roll over on a curve or if you swerve to avoid a hazard. A top-heavy load is also an unbalanced load, which can damage certain parts of your vehicle, such as the axles. Question number 150. An en route inspection should include checking A. for tire overheating and brake overheating, B. that the cargo is properly secured, C. both. The answers are correct. The correct answer is here, C. both. The answers are correct. Explanation. Whenever you stop during your trip, check whether the cargo has shifted. Also check whether the tires or brakes are overheating. Overheating could cause them to fail or even start a fire. Question number 151. Brake fade, A. can be caused by the brakes becoming too hot, B. can be corrected by letting up on the brakes for 1-2 seconds and then reapplying them, C. only occurs with drum brakes. The correct answer is here, A. can be caused by the brakes becoming too hot. Explanation. Brakes use friction to convert the kinetic energy of your moving vehicle into heat. However, overuse of the brakes, which can happen if you don't use engine braking enough, can generate so much heat that brakes can fade, lose their effectiveness, or fail. Question number 152. Gross combination weight rating or GCWR means the following: A. the total weight of single vehicle, B. the total weight of single plus load, C. the total weight of a powered unit plus trailer, S. D. the total weight of a powered unit plus trailer, S. plus the cargo. The correct answer is here, D. the total weight of a powered unit plus trailer, S. plus the cargo. Explanation. The gross combination weight rating, GCWR, is the value specified by the manufacturer of the power unit and the towed unit, S, including load, or any combination thereof. Question number 153. Which of these statements about engine overheating is true? A. If your engine overheats within 20 miles of the end of your trip, you should complete the trip and then check the problem. B. You should never shut off an overheated engine until it cools. C. You should never remove the radiator cap on a pressurized system until the system has cooled. The correct answer is here, C. You should never remove the radiator cap on a pressurized system until the system has cooled. Explanation. Never remove the radiator cap if the engine is overheated. Steam and boiling water could shoot out under high pressure and injure you. Wait until you can touch the radiator cap with your bare hand without it feeling excessively hot. Some vehicles have coolant overflow tanks or sight glasses that let you check the coolant level without removing the radiator cap.